Haha, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another Trevor's MMA. And in today's video we're talking about, is Max Holloway very similar into the way he fights like the Diaz brothers? I believe if you guys seen Cowboy Donald Cerrone versus Nate Diaz, he landed probably around 200, 230 punches in that fight, and that was the most significant strikes ever landed by Nate Diaz. He boxed up Cowboy Donald Cerrone, made it look very easy with his boxing. He has extreme cardio, extreme length, and he boxes like a traditional boxer. He has that kind of head movement, and he throws a lot of pitter-patter punches, right? And then you look at what Max Holloway is doing. Max Holloway has extreme cardio, pitter-patter punch style. He's in, he's out. He knows how to switch stances. He throws a little bit more leg kicks. He knows how to grapple. Yes, he does get into sometimes a very exchanging brawl, but most often, if you've seen him when he fought against Brian Ortega, he threw 290 strikes that landed out of like 300. So he lands a lot of significant punches, and he's very, very similar to Diaz in that aspect that he throws a lot of punches that are not heavy-handed. He's going just in there like just pittering them, just pitter-patter punches. And I seen Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen talk about this, and Brendan Schaub was saying he's nothing similar to the Diaz brothers, and I think he's very similar in the style that he does throw punches and bunches, and they're not there just to knock your ass out. He goes in there like the Diaz brothers. When the Diaz brothers are having their opponent hurt, then they'll go in there and throw a little bit more heavy leather behind their punches to knock your ass out. But if you look at Brian Ortega's fight versus Max Holloway, that's very similar to what Nate Diaz did to Cowboy Donald Cerrone. Some comments where a lot of people were saying that Max Holloway is a similar fighter to the Diaz brothers, but not as good. Well, I'll put it to you this way. He hasn't lost in 5 years. The last time he lost was 2013 against Conor McGregor when he was like 21 years old. And he's gone on to fight the best of the best, beating Jose Aldo twice, beating Ricardo Alamas, every top guy at the 145-pound division, and he is on like a 13-fight winning streak. The Diaz brothers have never done that. Maybe Nick has done that when he was in Strikeforce, because he defended his title a lot. But Nate Diaz has never gone on like a 13, 14-fight winning streak, and has never been a champion in the UFC that I have knowledge of, or any MMA organization. And Max Holloway is one of those kind of fighters that I think that he's going to keep pressuring his opponent. And when he goes out and fighting against Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier is a very heavy-handed striker that goes in to knock his opponents out. But when you put on a pace like Diaz brothers or like Max Holloway, just pressure and pressure and pressure, it gasses people out, because when you're missing your power strikes, you can significantly gas out, because you're throwing so much into that punch that you're always connecting to knock your opponent out. You're not landing 62 shots to fluster your opponent. You're landing 2 or 3 at a time to knock your ass out. I just got interrupted by people walking by, and I am at the park, and a lot of people walked by, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm making the MMA prediction video, and he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, YouTube." And like I said, it is what it is, you know. Dustin Poirier is gonna be his opponent, but like if you look at Nick and Nate, you look at their fighting style, and you look at what Max has accomplished, they're very similar. Max just has more tools. He throws leg kicks, he throws body kicks. That's one thing Diaz brothers don't really do, is throw a lot of kicks. They're more of like a traditional, boxer. Very first fight at 155, at least in the UFC. I don't know if he fought outside the UFC in 155, but he is going for the 155-pound title, the interim title. So if he wins, he'll be the champ. And you notice something, every fighter that has gone up in weight to fight for a title, they have won. Conor McGregor won both belts. You had Amanda Nunes go up in weight and win another title. You had Daniel Cormier go up and win another title. So if this is going the way that every other champ versus champ fight has gone, then Max Holloway is going to win this fight. And I think Max Holloway is going to win it anyway, because he's been on a 13-fight winning streak or 14-fight winning streak, and he's just in that zone. He's in the prime of his career, and he's fighting at the top of his game. And there's nobody, I think, right now that is better than him besides Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson versus Max Holloway, that would be one hell of a crazy fight. But I think it's going to end up going around 3 to 4 rounds, and I think Dustin Poirier is going to lose because he's going to gas out. I don't think his power shots are going to land against Max's just overwhelming pressure. But overall, I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think if Dustin lands early, he can win by significantly using his power punches. But even Jose Aldo landed a couple power shots, and he gassed himself out, because Max is the kind of guy who just pressures you, and that's what I think is going to happen in this fight. That's why I say he's very relatable to the Diaz brothers, because they pressure you and pressure you and pressure you. And that's the same thing in the Nate Diaz fight versus Conor 1. Conor was just lashing out heaviest strikes he can, and Diaz was just in there like, okay, I'll take a bunch of punches and I'll give you a bunch back. Big rig, somebody like a Dustin Poirier, they can go 25 minutes, but not when they're getting extremely pressured, not when they're getting extremely pushed. They can't do that, and that's something a lot of athletes can't do, is get to the point of when they're getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and they're throwing all their heavy punches. That's going to gas them out, because they're not used to getting 35 strikes thrown at them at once. And that's one thing that I think someone like a Khabib does very well. Somebody like Tony Ferguson. These are all athletes that pressure their opponents, and their opponents wilt under the pressure. Max Holloway, that's going to be the fight to make, because I think Dustin Poirier, if he doesn't finish it quickly, he's going to have a long road ahead of him, just like Brian Ortega did. Brian Ortega was a guy who was dominating everybody's fights, winning every fight, submitting every fighter, but when he fought somebody on that higher level, that guy with that extreme cardio, that guy with the extreme boxing, the extreme in-your-face pressure, that's what caused him to lose, because he was not used to getting hit with 30, 40, 50, 60 strikes when he was only being able to throw 1 or 2, and that's what he would do. He'd go in there and go 1, 2, and then Max Holloway would come in and go and then get out of the way, and get out of the way. And that's what I try to do when I go in the gym. You know, I focus more on getting my cardio to a high level than I do just getting ripped and buff and muscular. And that's what a lot of these guys do. They're very muscular, and that's what causes them to kind of gas out. Is Max Holloway going to beat Dustin Poirier? And is Max Holloway very similar to the Diaz brothers? My answer is yes. As always, remember to rate, even if you hate, comment, and subscribe. And I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Look at my rock shirt. I'm getting ready to go hop in the car, go to the gym, and work out. I'm going to try to work out, because if you notice something, I kind of have a swollen finger, because the other day, if you can see right here, I ended up cutting it when I was giving my cat some medicine. I was trying to get into the bottle, and you have to poke a hole in it, and then the knife went through my finger like that and cut it, and now my finger is kind of swollen, but it is what it is. But like I said, guys, remember to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully you guys can hear me, because it is significantly windy out here in Florida, because it is getting ready to storm. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember to follow me on Twitter, because I always post videos and post updates about fights, and I live blog through the night of the fights. So as always, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.